welcome back to my channel. I am going to be doing a story time today, a story time that I've been wanting to do, but I honestly just didn't know how to start this. Like, I'm gonna do it in the best way possible. I didn't make any notes, so I'm just gonna talk from the top of my head, and hopefully I do remember everything. This is just my truth, my story, and just something that I've been through that actually taught me a lot in life, and actually also traumatized me a lot from actually going forward in my life with regards to friendships, trusting people. I think this story time is also something that a lot of people can learn from. Hopefully someone takes some good out of it. This is not to bash anyone or put anyone down. I was very hurt and very broken during this time, so if I do say anything that is offensive, I do apologize in advance. But yeah, let's get the story going. So I thought that I should do the story as like a good and the bad. Like, I shouldn't just talk about the bad that happened. It will be a very big injustice to our friendship if I just didn't speak about good, because there was a lot of good, and I'm forever grateful for the friendship and for what it has brought me, and I'll forever be grateful for the memories. I don't want to cry though. I don't want to cry. So this will be the story time of how I got hit into a concussion and my heart shattered for a lifetime, basically. The friendship started in grade 8. Surprisingly, I was just flipping drawn to this chick. Like, just something about her energy. It was just so amazing. I just wanted to be around her. I wanted to be her friend. I didn't know her from a bar soap, but I just wanted to be a friend. And I don't know what it was about her energy, but I liked it. I liked it a lot. A lot. I already made a friend, but something about this other chick that I just wanted to be around. Let's call her Purple Haze. I think on the first day, she and this other chick decided to come to me and my friend at the time that I already made. And I was so like excited because something about her was just so special, and I was so drawn to her. I can't describe how I felt, but I was drawn to her. Very weird. Like, till today, I think that she's a soulmate in my life somehow, because the way I was drawn to her is actually scary, because there's a lot of people that I could have been friends with, but I chose her specifically. Like, when we became friends, we had a lot of different things that like somehow corresponded together, and there was also a lot of things that we had in common, and we were both very open-minded into trying different things. I mean, we both tried sports together. We just wanted to do everything. Like, we both wanted to try different things and do different things together, you know. So it was really cool and really dope to have a friend that I could start this new chapter of life, because I mean, it's high school, you know, and also have someone that wants to do the same things as me. From first day, I could say she was my friend, because we were just so, I don't know, we were like this. I think within the second or the third week, my aunt was telling me about her colleague's daughter that was in my school, and I needed to be friends with this colleague of hers daughter. And I was just like, damn, okay, that's cool, because at that time I was very friendly. Like, I was one of those chicks that was friends with everyone, like just friends for every type of mood I was in, because I was such a enthusiastic person. I wanted to try and do a lot of things. So at that time I was like, cool, chilled, awesome, more friends. And when I found out who the chick was, she was like, no, it's Purple Haze. She like, look for Purple Haze or whatever. And I was like, really? No, Purple Haze is my friend already. And then from there onwards, our friendship just got even better. Like, from what I thought it was, everything was just amazing. We did have a lot of fights. We did have a lot of arguments. One thing I liked about us is that we both could just be honest with each other. We could communicate how we felt. We could both be honest about what we were going through. Like, we could vent to each other. We could learn from each other. She was just that type of friend where I could just lean on. And at that time, I think within a year of our friendship, I was already going through a lot of my own problems at home, and she was really a comfort that she didn't, I think at first I didn't even like let her know. And within time, I think she allowed me to open up myself to her. And she was also going through some things where she lost a lot of things and she had to change her scenery or whatever, and she allowed me into her life at that time. First she lied a bit, like I think out of embarrassment, but she eventually could be honest with me, and I appreciated it, and I kept the secret from everyone. Like I didn't let anyone know anything, and I feel like that's just something that bonded us as well, because not only could we like be friends that could have fun together, be crazy together, and we like to do similar things, and we were both very hyper teenagers, like we were not like normal teenagers, we were very childish teenagers. So for us to also be able to be serious and share intimate things about our personal lives and be able to comfort each other was just phenomenal, I guess, because I don't think I was that open to any friend in my life before, except obviously my cousin. I think I was always close to my cousin, but she was my very first friend that I could actually allow in completely, and I was so flippin' grateful because she let me be me and I let her be her, and we never judged each other. And when we did judge each other, it was in a joking way. Till today, I think there's like only like 3-4 people that I could genuinely just make jokes with, and not mean it in a very ugly way. Like we both could understand each other and have that like respect or boundary that we won't like ever cross or hurt each other in a way, but with her it was just very different. Like we could joke around and we would not get offended. With her it was just so different. Like we could just joke around and enjoy each other's company all the time. We both decided on one sport to play. Like I fell in love with it, and I think with time she also somehow got a love for it. We mainly enjoyed doing it together because it was something we were both not too bad at. We both had different things in the sport that we were good at. Like she could hit and I could have the speed and things like that. Within that friendship, everything was just, we were growing together, like you little teenagers, you little teenage girls that are exploring and learning about yourselves, and having a friend that you can grow with and learn with was just amazing. And then the relationship with boys happened, and I think she got into a relationship before me or whatever, I don't know, but she got into a relationship first, and I think I followed a few months after that, and like we could talk about that, and like we had boy talks and stuff like that. Like we were literally growing together, and it was so nice to have a friend that I could grow with, and I genuinely took her as a sister. My mom used to take me really, really early to school, and then instead of me going to school and waiting at school for like 2 hours, she lived like really, really close to the school. So she let me like even come to her early in the morning. I used to even wake her up in the morning, and then I used to wait for her to get done, help her get done sometimes. I used to iron a uniform for her sometimes, help her with her hair. She used to help me with her. Like we used to be that close. Like that's how close we used to be, where we like get together early in the morning to get done together for school, and then after school we'll have sport together, and then from there we'll go home to her house again. Like that's how close we were. We both liked each other's company, so I don't think it was ever a problem, or I hope it wasn't a problem. But yeah, we were introduced to each other's family. I've never been close to family. I have never been close to my family, but she's a very family person. She's very close to all her family. So I was introduced to all her family. I knew all her family. I knew her cousins and her aunties and how she was related to this one. I just knew her family. I just knew everyone. Wow, so close. I used to even go to her family's houses. Like that's how close I was to her. I think when it came to grade 10, a lot of things did distance us a bit, and we were in the same class, and then we had sport together, so we were all the time together. Within grade 10, when we had to choose subjects, there was a bit of a distance because she chose like the physical sciences and the life sciences, and I just chose commercial shit. Like I just chose business, economics, and accounting. So there was a big distance with us in grade 10 and 11 because of that. But within that, we still stayed, like we still had that bond where we would still see each other in the mornings, and after school we'll go to school together, and we would go home together. Like, that's just how it was. We were still close, even though we weren't as close in grade 8 and 9. Where our friendship was, a lot of people were intimidated by our friendship. They used to think that, what the hell is these people doing? Like, what is going on with them? Because we were flipping close. Like, we were really, really close. Even her cousin was jealous of our friendship, because obviously, you know, a cousin relationship will always be different to what the best friend relationship will be. So our cousin was even jealous of our friendship, because obviously they would only see each other probably weekends, and I would see her Monday to Friday, and sometimes I would also see her weekends too. So I think there was a bit of a jealousy there, but I think Purple Haze handled it quite well. Like, she never ever made me feel some type of way, and I don't think she made her cousin also feel a type of way, because she's just a very, very kind and loving person. So it was always like a good vibe with everyone. And at first, when I did meet her cousin, I thought, okay, I can feel the vibe is shitty, but I love Purple Haze too much to let it affect anything. And I had a very, very bad temper at that time. Like, I could, like, now my temper is still bad, but I can control it a lot more, and I'm very selective of my battles, and I'm very picky on what I allow to affect my energy, and my peace is very important to me right now. Then I was a problem. Like, I couldn't control my temper, honestly. I'm not even gonna lie. But with regards to Purple Haze, she meant so much to me that I would never want to hurt her or hurt her family or anyone that she was close to. Even if I didn't like her friends that she even made at school, I used to just try to tolerate them, because I knew that they meant something to her. And that's just, I feel like, the boundary that I set, or we both kind of set within each other, so that we can both, like, just have that respect and love towards each other. I needed that peace, and I needed that comfort. I do pray and hope that what I brought to her life was as phenomenal as what she brought into my life, because when I think of our friendship and I think of the beautiful memories and everything, I'm just so in awe, because I'm so grateful that I had that friendship, you know. Like, it hurts to not have it anymore. So grateful that I did have that, because I did go through a lot of bad things as a teenager, mostly things at home. So having her as a friend that was always loving and caring and always there just was amazing. At that time, I didn't even know I was going through anything. I didn't know what was depression. I didn't know what was anxiety. However, I did know I was very suicidal in high school, and she did know a little bit about it. There was times I hurt myself, and she used to always, like, be there for me and comfort me and be like, no, don't do that, you know, you have a purpose or whatever. So our friendship really helped me through a lot of difficult times while growing up. I'm forever grateful for that friendship, because of what it taught me, what it brought me, and what it helped me go through, because I don't think I would honestly be here without having that support, because nobody knew what I was going through besides her. I can't say anything negative about our friendship, and I think this is why it hurts still today, because I really lost a good human. You know, I really lost a good human, and it's for such a stupid reason. So the story of how I lost her as a friend. In matric, even, we were very close, even though I was in a very, very toxic relationship. What happened was, within the matric year, we always planned to go do things together and do everything together, and I think that's how best friends are. I think last minute, her and her family decided no, to rather have a party at her house, because they just moved back in and whatever, and they bought already tickets. Like, they bought, like, a lot of tickets, because that's how close her cousins are, like, how close the family is. They decided to all go to her after party, so they bought tickets. And from what I understand, they sold most of the tickets, and there were still a few tickets left or whatever. And then my ex wanted to go to the after party. So we were obviously going to get tickets from someone. I think there was a lot of different people selling tickets still. And then my best friend had tickets. So she said, okay, I'm having a party by my house. I want you to be there. And obviously I wanted to be with her because that's just how we were. I wasn't really a party person. And we used to drink. I never used to do any of those things because I was just not interested in that. I wasn't really allowed to. My mother was flipping strict. And yes, I smoked, but it was just to calm me down because I was going through a lot of shit. So if I did have to go to a party, I think the best party type thing to do was go to my best friend's house, and that's what I genuinely wanted to do. So because my ex wanted to obviously go to the after party, I had to like consider it. And then my best friend was like, okay, if you do decide to go to the after party, take those tickets, right? And then I had cash on me. So obviously the type of person I am, and if you know me till today, you know that I'm always gonna be giving. Like, I just want to give things. Like, I don't care about money. And she was like, she gave me the tickets and she didn't want the money right away because I wasn't sure if I even was gonna go to the after party. So she didn't want the money, but I was like, no, take the money. So I gave her the cash, right? And then she's like, okay, if you don't want to go to the party, if you don't feel like going to the after party, please come to my house instead. So I was like, no, I really want to come to your house. So then she's like, okay, then when you come, then I'll just give you the cash back or whatever. So you can just decide. So I was like, okay, cool. I got the tickets, you got your money. So if, for instance, we do go to the after party, if the deal is done already. And from how our friendship was, I didn't think anything of it. Like, I just thought, okay, it's an exchange and whatever, right? The house getting done or whatever. My ex was fighting with his parents about going to this after party and whatever. And I honestly just didn't. The way the mood was with his parents and everything, I was just like, no. I just want to go to my best friend's house. So I phoned her and I couldn't get hold of her, right? And I eventually got hold of her mother. Her mother was like, no, already with the cousins, enjoying the time, whatever. She's not on her phone, but come through, She's like very like welcoming. She took me as a daughter as well. Obviously, I was excited because this is my bestie and I'm going to be with my bestie and party with my bestie. And I haven't really partied with my bestie because that wasn't something we actually did because I wasn't a party type person, right? But I was like, you know what? It's matric, we never did this before and we need to celebrate because, the 5 years was a lot. I got there and my friend was already on. She was lit. Very, very lit. It's really nice to see her like that because I never seen her like that before and she was so free. And then I was like, friend, here's the tickets. And then she took the tickets. And then she said, she'll give me the cash. It's in her bag from what she was wearing. She said, no, she'll give me the cash, whatever. She just can't find it right now, obviously, because, there's so much people around. And it's just, and she was lit. So she didn't give it to me right away. And I was like, whatever. I think she took the tickets or her mother took the tickets. I can't remember who, but one of them took the tickets. And then like, no, don't do sort it out tomorrow. We ended up having an awesome night. I was even gonna sleep there, but my mother's so strict. My mother's always been so strict. My mother's like, no, she'll even come fetch me. She doesn't want me to sleep out. So I ended up having to go home. I got home and I slept I woke up very late. Called my bestie, we were speaking. We were normal, like there was no off vibes. And then I brought up because obviously maybe she forgot. So I brought it up. I won't lie, I was the one that brought it up. I don't know what I said, but I said something with regards to the tickets, right? That she has it, right? So she said, yes, she does have it, whatever. And then I was like, okay, you'll just give me the money whenever. I don't know when I'm gonna see you because I think at that time we were preparing for final, so we were having like a break, I think. So I was like, okay, I'll see you whenever, and then you'll just give me the money. And she was like, yeah, cool, whatever. She agreed, right? Like, I didn't stress about it. And then all of a sudden her energy shifted because then we weren't chatting. And at that time I used to chat a lot. I don't chat now. I hate chatting now. But at that time I used to chat a lot, especially to her. Like, we used to chat all the time. Like, all the time. We would be talking. If we're not talking, we would be together. So I felt like her energy shifted because I know how my best friend is. And she was acting a little sus. Anyway, I messaged her and I was like, is there something going on or whatever? No, she's like, no, what did she say? No, I'm fine, whatever. I'm just gonna go to my cousin's house. But anyway, her phone was off, right? And then she obviously told me which cousin she was at and which house, whatever, because I know the family, I know where they go to, I know where they whatever. So I knew already where she was. But I didn't obviously just invite myself there. I phoned her mother and I was like, can I maybe get that money because I'm thinking I want to do something. I don't know what I wanted to do, but I wanted to like do something. I can get it whenever we do see each other. And she did say you're gonna be here, which is not too far because they live further away now because they moved back to their house. So at first they were living closer to the school, and then they moved back to their house around that time. So they weren't as close to me anymore. But her aunt still stayed not too far from the school, which wasn't too far from me either. So I was like, okay, they're gonna be there. I was like, okay, can I come through, whatever. And the mother was so friendly. Her mother was like, yes, my child, come through. Just let Papa is know, whatever. I was like, okay, cool. And then she's like, are you gonna come chill a bit? So I was like, no, my mother's tired and I'm with my boyfriend, so obviously no, not really. I just want to get it because I wanted to do something with it. I think I actually wanted to do something with my boyfriend if I'm actually thinking about it, because what else? I don't know what I would have done with the money. Honestly, I don't know what I would have needed it for. When I got there, her one guy cousin came out to open. He actually lives there by that specific house that we went to. And I knew him because I know that house, right? So I was like, hello, whatever. If Purple Haze said Purple Haze's mom said, I can come through. Can you call Purple Haze for me? You know, whatever. And then he was like, chill. Never sensed any funny vibe. But he didn't open. He went in time for a long time, like maybe even 30 minutes. Or maybe I'm just exaggerating, but he was in there for a long time. And eventually when he did come out, he came out with like the entire family. And I was just like, this is weird. You know, like what the hell? Got out of the car again and I went inside. I didn't feel fearful or anything, because like I know these people. I knew her family. But I was kind of like confused as to why they all came out though. Everyone was standing there. I went straight to Purple Haze, obviously, because that's my best friend. What's up? Why is everyone coming out? And then she was so like defensive. She was like, no, I can't give you the cash because we made an exchange, right? So I was like, okay, I understand that. I know we made an exchange, but your mom invited me here, right? So she's like, no, she knows, but she just thought it would be better to speak in person, and we did make an exchange, so she can't. I wasn't too hard up about it. I was just like, okay, because like even when I went to her to say hello, whatever, like I gave her a hug and I was like so chill, because in my head I'm thinking that's my best friend. And I was just so confused, because why did her mother invite me there? Like a mother could have just sent me a message and say, no, Purple Haze just made an exchange, you can't, whatever. And then me and Purple Haze would have sorted it out whenever else we seen each other. Like it wasn't a big deal. Yes, it's money, and it was a lot of money, and at that time I never had money like very accessible to me, but it was still just money, you know. And I was like confused, you know, because all her family is like standing around me, like standing like a lot, like they're all standing here, and then her mother's here, and I'm still like, I'm so friendly. I'm speaking to her mother, I'm hugging on her mother, I'm hugging on her, and she seems so fearful. And I'm like, what is she scared of? What am I doing? Now remember I mentioned that there was one of her cousins that didn't like me, and there was a between us, right? Her cousin got involved, and her cousin got into my face like, he's made an exchange, whatever. And I'm just like, now I'm getting angry, because why is her cousin getting involved? I already don't like that cousin. I didn't like the fact that the cousin was getting involved, and I don't like the fact that the cousin was getting close to me. So I got angry, right? And I think they got scared that I was gonna hit or fight with Purple Haze. Blows my mind till today, because at that time that would have never happened. Like I would have never, it wouldn't have even come to my mind to fight with her about that. If there was anything to fight about, there was so many other things before that night to fight about, but that was so petty, and that was so out of nowhere that I had no intention of even fighting with her. But I was angry because I was confused as to why there was so much people around me. I remember at that time I'm also messed up in my head, because I used to like to fight. Now I'm thinking there's so much people around me. Her mother is also just a little bit weird, because normally her mother treats me like her child. And now as I'm getting angry, I'm like trying to like still speak to my best friend. I'm like, Purple Haze, and I'm getting loud. I am getting loud, but I'm getting loud in a way as in like, what the hell is going on, Purple Haze? Like, what is going on? Like, I never came here out of nowhere. I was invited here. Like, I'm angry now because you my best friend, and I'm feeling like I'm attacked right now because there's so much people around me, and my mother and my boyfriend are in the car, right? And I'm alone, right? As things start getting rowdy, I think my mom and my boyfriend end up coming out of the car, right? And they're getting out of the car, and I'm getting loud, and I'm trying to speak to my best friend. It's like she's not hearing me, and I'm getting loud. I'm like, Papa, and I'm like trying to speak to her, and she's just looking so fearful, and I'm like, what the hell is going on? This little thing is just, yeah, this cousin of ours is making me more nar. And as I'm getting closer to Purple Haze, they probably think I'm gonna fight Purple Haze, which I wouldn't have at that time. So now this cousin is getting in my face. So I don't know, did she touch me first or did I touch her first? But one of us touched each other. I think I pushed her. Away from me. And then she hit me. And that's how we started fighting. And now, because now me and her cousin is hitting each other, her guy cousin started hitting my boyfriend. And now I'm busy fighting with this cousin. And when you've been listening for someone long and you've been holding it because you think, you're not going to fight this chick. And now I'm hitting her. Her sisters and her other girl cousins decided to attack me. Now, I don't know, is there 6? I don't know how much people there, but there were 6, 7 girls around me. There was girls on top of me, hitting me, right? And then Papa is just standing there. They're watching her cousins move me. And I'm just like hitting. And I'm fighting. Now I'm trying to because now I was hitting the one cousin. Now everyone want to jump my car and hit me. My mother told me afterwards she seen Papa Hazel's father also was chilled with this uncle. Like, me and this uncle were chilled. He ends up also putting a hand and hitting on my head, right? I think after his hit, I fell on the floor. And then all the girls was busy kicking and hitting me. And I think the only way they stopped hitting me and fighting on me was because I started like shaking. Like, I had a fit. And that's the only time they stopped fighting and hitting me. I know I'm sitting in the car. I just had a fit. I've never had a fit before. And I'm sitting there in the car and I'm looking like this, and I'm seeing Purple Haze and she's crying. And I start crying too because I just got the flippin' beat down from all her cousins and she watched. And I'm just broken because this is my best friend. And she literally watched her cousins hit me. At that time, I didn't even know her father hit me, but she still watched, right? And then I just hear my mother saying, my mother was just trying to basically say that it's not even about the money. Money means nothing. They didn't want me to get the money, or they could have said, no, Purple Haze will speak to you another time or something like that. But don't tell me to come get it and then everyone is just ready to attack, or everyone is just wanting to fight. At the end of the day, her auntie threw few hundred rands in the car, and my mother threw it out. My mother's like, no, I don't need this money. Invite my daughter here and then you just fight with her and things like that. My mother threw the money out and the auntie threw it back. And then my boyfriend was bleeding because obviously her guy cousins also attacked him. He took the money. So I don't even know how to feel. Rushed to hospital, telling me I had a concussion. I'm not allowed to redo anything for the next 2 months. I needed to go back to the hospital after a few days or whatever, if the dizziness and the headaches don't stop. Migraines continued. I literally couldn't study or anything. Like, I couldn't study, I couldn't do nothing. At that time, I was applying for a bursary, a hockey bursary to go into UJ to study law. I wanted to do commercial law. Obviously, I needed my final results in order to apply. I couldn't study or anything to go and get it done. And then next thing I know, I went back to school. Me and Purple Haze never spoke. I never messaged her. She never messaged me. We just never spoke. And then when I seen her at school, I was just so angry. I was so angry. This is my best friend, but I didn't know who she was. The way her face was when I went to my aunt's house was just blank. Like, she didn't care about me. She didn't like me. She treated me as if I was a stranger to her. Then she walks into my classroom and my boyfriend's trying to hold me back because he knows me and he knows how angry I get. And I'm just thinking, the nerve of this girl, like, she literally treated me like I'm nothing to her, and then she let her family do this to me. And now it's matric and it's almost finals. I can't study properly. I'm struggling. I'm suffering from flipping migraines. Couldn't even hold a fist to hit her. Like, when I think of that moment, I remember it so clearly because I love her so much that I couldn't even hold a fist to hit her. I just pulled her hair. I looked like I was so angry, and I wanted to hurt her because I was hurt. Deep down, I loved this chick, even though she gave me a look where I meant nothing to her. At the end of that, I just was so upset because we were in a group of friends and they didn't choose me. They didn't choose sides. They just wanted to be chilled on both sides. And in my head, I'm thinking to myself, you would still want to be friends with someone who treated me like that. Now, if she can treat me like that, she can obviously treat you like that too. And I was her best friend. I would have expected all of you guys to choose me and be on my side because I was hurt. I can't write my finals properly. I literally couldn't study. Nothing I even studied was going in because I was struggling to concentrate because of the migraines I was suffering with. And no one could choose my side because everyone was in between. Because Purple Haze is an amazing person, so how do you stop loving her? You know? So they couldn't not choose her and they couldn't not choose me, so they all wanted to be in between, and I didn't want anyone to be in between. I'm very on you have to choose sides, and I'm still like that. Like, I don't want someone to be my friend and my enemy's friend. And at that time, Purple Haze was my enemy because of what I was going through with her. And because no one chose sides, I got everyone off. I had no friends. I just let everyone go, and I said, you know what, if everyone is gonna all just be our friend, I'm not interested. I'll be alone. And I only had my boyfriend, like literally my boyfriend and my boyfriend's. I was chilling with my boyfriend and my boyfriend's friends, and he also hardly even chilled with his friends, so it was just basically us two. I decided to get a case against her father because her father hit me down. How I even got on the floor was because her father took his hand and he made like that, and he hit me on my head and I went down. And unfortunately, the investigator took so long that I ended up just letting it go. I got into 2017 and I just thought, I wanted to let go of everything in 2016. I was so broken because I lost a big part of my life. I let it go because I was so hurt by it all. I got of all my friends. It felt like everyone was gonna betray me like she did, because she was such a big factor in my life. So she could do it, everyone else could obviously do it too. It breaks me. Like, I cried a bit now while recording this because it still hurts. I still haven't spoken to her. I never ever got closure from what happened. I still don't know what was in her head when everything happened. I probably needed it to happen. It hurts that it did happen though. I'd love to get that friendship with someone else again. I'd really appreciate having a friendship like that again, because that friendship was amazing. So to have a friendship like that again in the future would be good and amazing. I wouldn't mind having it. And if I don't ever get it again, I'm grateful to have experienced it. But yeah, I'm so thankful and I'm grateful for it all. If she does watch this, I don't know what I did to you to make you look at me like that, or make your family think I'm such a monster to you. But I don't have any hatred towards you. I am forever hurt by it all because it was a very, 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 very bad breakup. One of my worst breakups. Like, I've been through a lot of heartbreaks, but our heartbreak or our friendship breaking up broke me the worst. But I always love you, and no matter what happened, I still think you are an amazing person. I think we were both just too young to really fix things and sort things out. But I love you, and I am grateful for our friendship and what it was, and I'll always have the beautiful memories in my heart. And I pray one day I do get over this heartache of losing you, because you are a good and amazing person. You are honestly an angel, and I gravitated towards you for a reason at that time, and you were truly an angel in my life at that time. But yeah, thank you guys for watching this video. I'm so sorry for getting emotional again. But at this end of this crying, I'm actually really happy. This is like a real release. Also, like, it's a release. Please do comment down below what you think of this video. Yeah, please do like, comment, and subscribe. Make sure you subscribe to my channel for many more story times and get included in Money-ish life. Yeah, bye guys.